Hey, I'm Alex, and this is about the moment I realized my parents never truly saw me as their son. Just an afterthought. A backup option. Someone they'd take advantage of whenever convenient. I was 22, studying in Germany on an exchange program, having what seemed like the best year of my life. I'd worked my tail off to get there. Years of side jobs, scholarships, and late-night cramming. But my biggest pride, my wheels, wasn't just some car. That was mine. The car I always wanted. The one I spent years saving up to buy. Passing on nights out with friends, working extra hours, tracking every dollar. When I finally got it, the feeling was incredible. It was slick, speedy, and perfect in every way. That car was my trophy after all that effort. I left it at home, parked safe in my parents' driveway, before leaving for my exchange program. I even had them start the engine now and then to keep the battery alive. They said sure thing. No big deal. I should have seen it coming. It all started when my buddy Jake randomly texted me. Jake goes, "Dude, did you sell your car?" I squinted at my phone. No. Why? Jake texts back. Then why's your car listed online? That's when he sent the screenshot. My stomach turned. That's my car. My actual car. Same model, same plates, everything. Up for sale on some local Facebook Marketplace ad. The price? Ridiculously low. At first, I thought it must be fake. Some weirdo using my pics to scam folks. But then I noticed the location detail. It was posted in my hometown. My heart was pounding. I called my parents immediately. My dad answered. "Hey Alex. How's Germany?" His voice was relaxed, like nothing was wrong. I got straight to the point. "Why is my car listed for sale?" There was a pause. A very long pause. "Okay," my dad cleared his throat. "We need to chat with you about that." My hands clenched tight. "Talk to me. You already put it up for sale." Another long pause. Then, my mom hopped on the call. Her voice was sickly sweet. "Babe, don't freak out. It's not that big a deal." "Not a big deal. Not a big deal. That's my car we're talking about." I snapped. I never agreed to sell it. What the hell is going on? Then they hit me with it. So my mom says, like it's totally normal, "Your cousin Ethan's in some money trouble. He had some bills to pay off. And honestly, you weren't even using the car, right?" I swear, my vision just flashed red. "Are you kidding me? You're selling my car to pay Ethan's debt." "Not selling," my dad corrected. "It's already sold." My mind went completely blank. It felt like I was watching this happen from outside my body. "You already sold it?" I could barely get the words out. My mom sighed like I was exaggerating. "We didn't want to drag you into this. You're too far away, and Ethan was desperate for help. Family's supposed to stick together." I wanted to explode. Family. They seriously brought up family? The same parents who never helped me when I needed them? The same parents who watched me bust my ass for that car and didn't chip in a cent? What about Ethan? The golden boy. My spoiled cousin who never worked a day in his life but somehow always ran into money trouble? The same Ethan who got a brand new car as a graduation gift while I had to save for years? I took a deep breath, my hand shaking. "Who did you sell it to?" "Alex, sweetie, who did you sell it to?" Heavy silence. Then my dad muttered, "Some guy named Mark." I hung up immediately. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I didn't throw a thing. Instead, I made my move. First, I hit up Jake. "Get me the lowdown on this Mark guy. Who he is, where he stays, whatever." Then, I pulled up my phone's notes and scrolled to something I saved way back, something that was about to wreck my parents. The car title. 'Cause here's what they didn't know. The car was still legally mine. The title was under my name. And that meant one thing. They never sold the car. They straight up stole it. And I was gonna make them pay. I didn't sleep a wink that night. I sat in my tiny German apartment, heart racing, mind going crazy, plotting every move. My parents thought they had everything under control. They thought they could guilt me into accepting it, make me feel sorry for Ethan, and just move on. They had no clue who they were messing with. By morning, Jake came through. Jake sent a text. "Found the dude. His name's Mark Reynolds. Looks like he runs a used car lot in town. Probably thought he was scoring a sweet deal. That changed everything. If Mark sold used cars, he definitely pulled this stunt before. He probably pegged my folks as desperate, lowballed them, and made a quick flip. But him buying it left a paper trail. I smirked to myself. Nice. That'll make this way easier. I pulled out my phone and dialed the DMV first. After proving my identity, I laid out the situation. I'm the legal owner of a car that was sold behind my back. I've got the title in hand. The car's been stolen. The lady on the phone seemed skeptical at first, but when I emailed her the title scan with my name on it, her tone shifted instantly. Hey, you gotta file a police report right away. That car's still legally yours. That's all I had to hear. I hung up and called the police department back home right then. I kept my voice calm, professional, and straight to the point. Hi, I need to report my car was stolen. I've got the title in my name, but my parents sold it while I was overseas. The officer paused for a second. Sir, can you prove you didn't okay the sale? I saw that coming. I've got texts from my parents admitting they sold it without even asking me, plus the title with my name on it. I can email it all right now. All right, shoot it over. We'll take a look. Barely 2 hours later, I got a call back. This is Detective Harris. I just reviewed what you sent. From what I see, you've got a strong case. Since you never signed the title over, that sale wasn't legal. The car's still yours. I took a deep breath. So what's next? Well, the detective said, we're handling this like a stolen car case. We'll inform the current owner they're holding stolen property. If they cooperate, we'll arrange the return. If not, they could get in legal trouble. That's when another idea came to me. What if the buyer refuses to hand it over? I asked. Well, technically, if they knew it wasn't legit, that's fraud. Even if they didn't realize it, they still gotta bring the car back. The detective paused, like he was deciding whether to say what came next. If they try making you pay to get your own car, that's pretty much extortion. I grinned. Good to know. I spent all day waiting, my heart jumping every time my phone buzzed. My parents hadn't called or texted since we last spoke. That said it all. They knew they messed up. Then, around 6 p.m., a number I didn't know flashed on my screen. I picked up. Hey. A rough voice answered. That you, Alex? Yep. It's Mark Reynolds. We've got a problem. I sat back in my chair, acting like I wasn't loving this. Oh yeah. What's the issue? There was a beat of silence. Then, sounding annoyed, Mark goes, the cops just came by my dealership. They're claiming the car I got is stolen. I pretended to care. Oh man. That's wild. How'd that even happen? Another pause. Then, he starts sounding pissed. Your folks swore they had the right to sell it. Yep, they straight up lied. Mark let out an annoyed sigh. Look, kid. I already paid good money for this car. Your parents cashed the check, I've got the bill of sale, and now you're telling me I have to hand it back? That's not fair. I smirked. Actually, it is. The sale wasn't valid. You never had a claim to it. There was a long pause on the call. Then Mark let out a sigh. Fine. I'll bring it back. But there it was. The rear end. I need my cash back, he said. Besides, I already put some effort into it. New custom work. A quick fix. I'm out over $8,000. You want your car back? You gotta cover that cost. I almost laughed out loud. So that's how he wants to play, huh? I kept my tone steady. You're asking me to pay $8,000 for my own stolen ride? You're getting back a car I legally bought. This ain't no charity. I let that sit for a beat. Then I said, let me think on it. And I ended the call. I wasn't about to pay him. Not a single cent. But I wasn't done just yet. I had one last call to make. It was time to handle my parents. I took a deep breath and dialed my mom. It didn't even ring twice when she picked up. Mom, Alex, thank God, we need to talk. I sank back in my chair. Yeah, we sure do. She paused, probably thrown off by how calm I sounded. Listen, honey, I get you're upset, but you gotta see the big picture. Here we go again. The guilt trip. Mom, your cousin was in a real bind. It was an emergency. We didn't have any other options. I let her keep talking. Let her dig herself in deeper. Mom, and honestly, sweetie, you weren't even using the car anyway. It was just sitting there, collecting dust. Ethan needed help, and we knew you'd understand. We're family. Oh, the classic "we're family" guilt trip. I laid out the facts for her. Mom, did you even look at whose name was on the title? Silence. I have it right here. I went on, opening the scanned file on my laptop. It says Alex Carter. Not Ethan. Not your dad. Me. Which means you sold something that wasn't yours to sell. She scoffed. Oh, don't be so dramatic. Dramatic? I fired back. You do realize the cops see this as theft, right? Her tone changed instantly. Cops are here. Alex, what did you do? I smirked. Oh, just filed a report about my stolen ride. You know, like any sane person would. Her voice went up a notch. You shouldn't have done that. Do you even get what you've done? I acted clueless. Oh, is that so? I made sure everything was by the book. I could hear her breathing hard. You're totally overreacting, Alex. Just call them and explain it was a mix-up. We'll handle this as a family. That made me burst out laughing. Oh, now you want to deal with it as a family. After you robbed me? Watch how you talk to me. She snapped. We raised you. We did it all for you. And this is how you thank us. Oh, there it is. The classic, "we sacrificed everything" line. I wasn't falling for it. You never did this for me, Mom. You did it all for Ethan. Because he's always come first. That's not how it is, she snapped. Oh, really? I shot back, go on then. If we switched places, if I needed saving, would you've sold Ethan's car to get me out? Dead silence. That answered everything. You have no clue what you've done, she finally whispered. I smirked. Oh, I know damn well what I did. Then I hung up. That same night, another call came through. This time, it was my dad on the line. I let it ring a few times before answering. His tone was ice cold. You stepped out of line, kid. I sighed hard. Wrong, Dad. You crossed the line selling my dream car behind my back. He huffed sharply, clearly fighting to stay composed. Look, we'll sort this out. But you need to ditch this cop nonsense before things get messy. I stayed neutral. So how do you plan to work this out? We'll talk to Mark. Maybe we can figure something out. Oh, I already talked to Mark. That's when I got an idea. Actually, I said Mark has an offer. He'll return the car if I pay him $8,000. Silence. Then what? Yeah, seems he put some work into it and doesn't want to lose money. So if you're serious about making things right, you guys should cover that cost. Dad sputtered. Wait, why should we pay for that? I grinned. 'Cause you sold the car. This is your mess, not mine. Dad lowered his voice. We don't have that kind of cash, Alex. Neither do I. I shot back. Unless you want to settle this in court, you'd better figure it out. I caught him muttering under his breath before he said, I'll call you back. And just like that, I had them right where I wanted. They could either pay to clean up their mess or deal with the legal fallout. The best part? I was barely getting warmed up. The next few days were like a chess match. I was always 3 steps ahead, and I knew it. My parents were panicking, trying to fix their mistake, but time wasn't on their side. I kept my phone on silent and mostly let their calls go unanswered. Every time they reached out, I could tell they were hoping I'd give in, that they could convince me to back down. But I wasn't about to be their scapegoat. Not this time. At some point, I stopped even trying to be polite with them. I'd made my position clear. Now the ball was in their court. Then 2 days later, Jake sent me a text. Hey, just a heads up, Mark's still trying to sell the car. He's knocking $5,000 off for anyone who'll take it, but honestly he seems pretty desperate. Thought you should know. I nearly burst out laughing. So Mark was trying to unload my car again? It was easy to see the chance here. If Mark was willing to drop the price that low, he was either under police pressure or just trying to ditch it fast. Either way, I had him where I wanted. I rang up Detective Harris, the officer on my case, and gave him the lowdown. Mark Reynolds is trying to pawn off my car again. The title's still in my name and he never returned it. There was a beat of silence before Harris came back, his voice turning razor-sharp. Trying to sell it without handing it back? That's textbook fraud. Let me know if you hear anything new. I nodded even though he couldn't see me. Will do. I knew this wasn't the full picture, but it felt good to have the law on my side. Later that day, my dad finally called back. His voice was low, tight with frustration. Alex, we've talked about this, and your mom and I decided we'll pay Mark to get the car back. I smiled to myself. Bingo. That's good, I said, acting casual. So I take it you figured out the $8,000 thing? Not quite, he mumbled. We're offering $1,500. Take it or walk away. I stared at him, kinda shocked. $1,500? For a car that's easily worth 10 grand? We're already bending over backwards here, Alex. Don't push your luck. I couldn't believe my ears. They sold my car without even checking with me, and now they're offering half of what it'd cost to get it back? Dad, I'm not messing around here. I'm not giving Mark a cent for a car that was always mine. You owe me the full amount, or I'm getting the cops involved. His voice tightened up. This is insane, Alex. You're about to blow everything up. We're family. I sighed. Sure, we're family, Dad. So why does it seem like my car's the only thing that matters to you? There was a long pause. He was still trying to wrap his head around it. I don't know what you want from me. You'll have to sort that out on your own. But you don't get to treat me like an idiot anymore. Then I just ended the call. A few more days went by. My parents never reached out. I didn't hit him up. Then out of nowhere, Mark Reynolds called me again. Dude, his voice was still dripping with smugness. I've been mulling over your cute little offer. I folded my arms and waited. And, you're gonna hate this. But if you want your wheels back, you gotta cough up 9 grand. I arched a brow. Thought you were cutting me a break? Mark just snorted. You don't get to call the shots here, kid. This car's worth way more than I paid. So the price just went up. I kicked back in my chair, soaking it all in. You sure you want to go down this road, Mark? Better check with your lawyer before throwing around threats. There was a long pause before he cracked. Fine. Make it $5,000. Take it or leave it. I almost cracked up. This dude was getting desperate. No way, I shot back. I'm coming for the car, and I'm coming for the cash you scammed from me. He didn't answer immediately, but I could hear him gritting his teeth through the phone. Finally, he snapped. You're messing up big time, Alex. You'll regret this. I grinned. Maybe you will. I hung up. The next morning, Jake texted me. He said, Mark's trying to sell it again. Now he's calling it a rare piece and wants $3,000. Seems like he's getting desperate. You should move quick. Perfect. I wasn't letting this guy win. The game had changed now. I wasn't gonna make any more calls. I was gonna show up in person and take back what was mine. And when I did, I'd make sure Mark had to answer for every damn cent he tried to scam me out of. The plan was simple, but it was gonna hit like a truck. I wasn't about to waste time with phone calls anymore. I called Detective Harris first thing in the morning. I could hear the professionalism in his voice, but there was some excitement too. He was itching for a fight. Detective Harris, you got everything ready, Alex? Yeah, I'm heading over there now. I'll meet you there in about an hour. He gave a quick chuckle. You know, I've got a feeling this'll be fun. I snatched my jacket, tossed my phone in my pocket, and jumped in my car, adrenaline rushing through me. Today was gonna be Judgment Day. When I pulled up to Mark's house, the cops were right behind me. The patrol car stopped behind mine, and Detective Harris nodded at me as we approached the door. Through the window, I could see Mark pacing like a caged animal. Company was the last thing he expected. I knocked. Mark swung the door open, a cocky smirk plastered on his face. Well, if it isn't our little thief. Here to beg for your car back. I glared right at him. Wrong guess, dash. Mark hesitated. What are you? Before he could finish, Detective Harris stepped up, holding out his badge. You're under investigation for fraud. The car's being seized, and selling it now would be a felony. Mark's face went white. He took a shaky step back, his tough act crumbling like dry leaves. Hold up, what? Nah, this is all wrong. I shot him a look. A misunderstanding. Seriously? Then why you selling my car? Harris cut in again. Sir, we're seizing the car. You'll hear from us about the charges. Mark tried to argue, but no one was listening now. A few cops moved in and started taking the car away, getting it ready for transport. I stood there with my arms crossed, watching every moment of it. I had my car back at last. The next few days passed in a blur. The police handled everything legally, and transferring the car to my name was fast. Signing the paperwork, I felt the weight lift off me. My car, my dream car, was finally mine again. But it wasn't over. I wanted no part of my parents anymore. They chose Ethan instead. They lied, stole, and manipulated me every step of the way. That's it. I wasn't gonna be their punching bag anymore. I called them one last time. Mom answered, "Alex, honey, I know we've had our differences, but this isn't the time to be angry." "You're right," I cut her off. "This isn't the time to be angry. It's time to be done." There was a long silence on the other end. I could hear my mom's shaky breath. "What do you mean? What's going on?" "I mean I'm done." I leaned forward, the words coming out sharper than I intended. "You sold my car without thinking twice, and now you expect me to just move on? Forget that you chose Ethan over your own son, that you've made me feel like nothing for years? I'm finished." I could hear her struggling to speak. "Please, Alex, don't do this." But I was done listening. "You should have thought about that before you stole from me. You don't get to play dumb like nothing went down. I've had enough disrespect, and I'm done." Right then, I hung up. Next thing I know, my dad's calling. Couldn't even be bothered to answer. So I shot them both a text instead. "I'm done with both of you. Don't care what happens now. You chose your path, I'm choosing mine. Later." The decision wasn't easy, but it was the right call. They weren't my family anymore. Honestly, they hadn't been in years. A few days later, I was at my kitchen table when my phone buzzed with a notification. It was a news story about Ethan's father-in-law. Some big-shot businessman fined $10,000 for fraud and theft. Turns out my parents were tangled up in shady deals with Ethan's family, and their finances were a total mess. The whole thing wrecked me. It wasn't just about the car. It was about all the things they'd hidden from me. All the lies. The way they manipulated me. How they used my trust against me. But I wasn't gonna let it break me anymore. I stood up, walked to the window, and breathed deep. I wasn't gonna waste any more time on them. I had my life back, my car back, and the power to move on. And that's exactly what I planned to do. So, what do you think? Was cutting off my family the right call? Or did I cross a line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.